Look at what's happening now. The United States is negotiating with the Taliban to do what? To get out. What has the United States brought to Iraq? Security. President Trump has said himself, we spent $7 trillion and only brought misery to the region and to ourselves. But he has spent $1 trillion since he became president on the same waste of money. So it's not Iran-esque. I think countries in the region, of course there are elements in the region who want the United States in. And we don't interfere. If Afghanistan wants to keep the United States in Afghanistan, their choice. If Iraq wants to keep the United States in Iraq, their choice. We object to that, but it's their choice. But if the United States want to use the territory of Iraq to violate the sovereign integrity of Iraq, the territorial integrity of Iraq, and hit an official guest of the Iraqi government inside Iraqi territory. Look at the situation. Look at this formula. United States used 2 bases in Iraq, the bases that we hit, one of them, to carry out operations in Iraq against an Iraqi guest. Who would stand for that? I mean, you just imagine. Imagine yourself in the shoes of the Iraqis. Now, of course, we responded. And some of your audience may say, you did the same. No, we didn't do the same. It was an unprovoked attack abusing Iraqi territory against an Iraqi guest inside Iraq. We took action in self-defense under Article 51 of the Charter against a military attack on our military personnel in a foreign land by targeting the base from which the attack had come from. That is, I mean, I wrote my PhD dissertation on self-defense. That is a classical definition of self-defense under Article 51 following an armed attack. I do not believe in preemptive self-defense. I do not believe in preventive self-defense. I think none of us should, because these are dangerous. These destroy the concept of self-defense altogether. But we need to look at the reality. Now, the United States accused Soleimani of trying to wage a war against the United States by hitting 4 of its embassies. Now we know that President Trump authorized the killing 7 months ago. So it had nothing to do with that. We also know that there was no threat against US embassy. And I can tell you that Soleimani went to Iraq not only to deliver a diplomatic message to the Prime Minister of Iraq, but also to calm down the Iraqis who were enraged by the United States killing 25 Iraqi members of Iraqi armed forces for the killing of 1 US contract. You call that proportionate? That is why President Trump, against all principles of international law, and I agree with Sergei this morning, who believes that the United States wants to get rid of international law. That's why they talk about rule-based international system. The principle of proportionality has been a principle of international law forever, as long as international law has been in existence. And President Trump says, we will respond disproportionately. I mean, he doesn't even hide that. He makes it known. Are we supposed to live in that type of world where somebody, in the past, people violated international law? I mean, they did. Everybody did. All states did. I'm not a naive fool. Every state violated international law. But at least they found a modicum of justification. Now the President of the United States is going out and saying, I don't care about international law. I'm going to be disproportionate. I'm going to attach cultural sites. Nobody is telling him it's a war crime. Now, Pompeo tries to walk away from that, but he himself says, and that's a Newsweek quote. I'm not making it up. Go look at Newsweek. If Iran wants its people to eat, it has to follow what the United States says. What do you call that in international law? Starvation, genocide. Both of them are international crimes. Secretary Pompeo, not only threatening, but it's acting on this, trying to prevent Iranians to eat, to have medicine. I think he should get a good lawyer. Not just for Congress, because he's refusing to testify,